Hi, I'm Mark, and welcome along to Beginner Sketching. Now, today we're going to look at what materials you might need to get started. So, we're also going to look at some tips before you start. Plus, we're also going to look at some comments on how to approach sketching going forward. It's going to be ultra quick. So, yeah, pay attention. It's not going to last long. What do you need? Well, I've put a sketchbook down as the first item. You're going to need, obviously, something to draw on. And as it says here, a pad or loose paper will be fine. But if you want to be more organised, then a sketchbook is, as it says here, it's worth the investment. I mean, they only cost a couple of pound, depending on what size you go for. And they also have several uses and are handy if you need to go outdoors at any time. As it mentions here, come in different sizes, and I would probably start off with an A5 and then maybe progress to an A4 later on. Okay, sketchbook. More than one use, to be honest. The one that I've used in the past, I've put all sorts of things in it. I've been doodling a bit. I've put obviously ideas that come to mind as you're using your sketchbook. Any notes about anything that you want to record as well. And anyone who does a lot of traveling, you might want to turn it into, a little type of journal. So it has several uses. So not just for sketching, but it's a record really of the journey that you've been on since you started sketching. So it can be quite handy to um, look back on, let's say, in the future. Okay, what else? Pencils. Yeah, you're going to need one of these. You're not going to get very far. Just some general info. Obviously, any pencil you go for is probably going to be fine to start with. I've mentioned about sketching pencils. If you can get yourself a set of them, they're normally sort of £2 or £3 for about 12, and they're pretty much all you're going to need really, and they'll last you years. We've mentioned about coloured pencils. Obviously, that's another area of art that people do. You can get various sorts, just the ordinary colouring ones, or you can get watercolour pencils. So lots of other options that we can go to later. Okay, what next? Pencil sharpener. Yep, that'll be useful. So even though you might not have to use it that often, sooner or later, the leads will break and you're going to need to sharpen them. So arm yourself with one of them. A pencil case is useful, so obviously to put all of these things into. And a rubber or an eraser would be pretty good, especially if you're starting off. Anything else? Well, I've mentioned a small ruler, one of these 6-inch types. I'm not going to be using them that often, but now and again, just to sort of set up the start of a particular sketch can be really handy to have one of them. So we'll just pop that in the pencil case as well. And I've mentioned about a thin line pen. Just an ordinary black pen will suffice, to be honest. But as the further you get into it, you might find that these drawing pens with the finer nibs uh, are more useful, to be honest. Okay, let's go on to the beginner's tips. 5 of them, no particular order. Start with basic shapes. Pretty much, all this means is break objects down into circles, squares, triangles, and ovals before adding the finer detail. Sketch lightly, it's basically just saying use light pencil strokes so you can easily erase them and adjust your drawing as it develops. Focusing on simple objects. Obviously, you've got to walk before you can run. Begin with an everyday object like something in your kitchen, a mug, a piece of fruit, something that's not too complex, rather than doing a scene or a portrait. Um, Look more than you draw. That really means spend time observing the shape before you actually start to put pencil to paper. So look at the shape, the size, its proportions, and then obviously start your sketch, but do it lightly. And the last one, which is not rocket science, is to practice regularly. Draw a little every day, even if you only get 10 or 15 minutes in, it all helps. And it's up to yourself, really, how long you spend on this topic. But the more you do, the more it helps to build your confidence and improve your skills over time. Okay. And finally, your sketching journey begins here. So I'm just going to run through these in the order as we see them. Sketching is for pretty much everyone. You don't need to be an artist to start. I'll let you read or through this yourself, but lots of useful information in here about why people sketch. Obviously, some people do it to relax, improve their skills, or to simply have fun. There's no right or wrong reason to sketch. What matters is that it brings you some enjoyment at the end of the day. And it's done at your own pace. Obviously, unless you're in a class, then you're going to be time limited on what you're doing. But it's up to you to put your design together, and it could be on just one occasion, or you might do it over a number of days and build up a really advanced sketching. It's up to yourself. It can have a positive effect on your well-being and your health, and lets you take a break from the fast pace of everyday life. So it can be a calming, rewarding, and a great way to reduce your stress, especially in this day and age. And a few notes just at the end here. Compare your work only with your previous drawings. As I say, everyone's different. Everyone will approach it from a slightly different perspective, I would imagine, in terms of experience. Mistakes are okay to do, they're part of the process. And yeah, progress comes through practice, not perfection. Some people may have more artistic ability than others, but it's a hard one to sort of pinpoint as to why somebody can draw things more easily than someone else. But it's all about being a better artist for yourself. So, as it mentions here at the end, keep your pencil moving and have fun exploring your creativity. And last but not least, thanks for watching and good luck with your beginning sketching. See you on the next one.